GRC, Holland Bukit Timah GRC, Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC, and Jurong Central SMC can give us the mandate to put us in the parliament and be the voice of the people of Singapore. And without further ado, let me welcome you, the youngest candidate for Red Dot United, a 25 years old engineer, Mr. Sharat Kumar.
Good evening, fellow Singaporeans. My name is Sharat Kumar, contesting in Holland Bukit Timah GRC. I'm an assistant engineer with a bachelor's in mechatronics, working in an MNC. Today, I stand before you, not just as a 25-year-old candidate, but as one of you, a young worker, a first-time voter, and someone who believes every voice matters. For our generations, it's like running up an escalator that's going down. Housing prices, cost of living, job competition, it's exhausting. I've spoken to people who tell me they did everything they were told. Get a degree, work hard, make CPF contributions. Yet, even home ownership, a basic necessity, feels like a distant dream. I remember speaking to a man in his 40s, a senior engineer. He told me, "I'm not asking for a handout. I just want a fair shot in life." That stuck with me. Because today in Singapore, hard work can't even guarantee basic living. Is that sustainable? Just look at our total fertility rate. We can't even replace ourselves. Forget about sustainable living. Even survival is becoming hard. I remember during NS, my sergeant used to say, adapt, overcome, or get left behind. But after completing that 2 years, I realized sometimes the system leaves you behind, even when you do everything right. And walking the ground, I have met many who are struggling. A full-time driver who still picks up Grab jobs at night to pay for his newborn's expenses. A young woman giving tuition to fund her university studies, afraid she'll end up with loans before she even gets her first job. A single mother in her 30s who told me she hasn't been able to save a single cent for her child's future because every dollar is eaten up by bills. That is the real Singapore today. That before career, that before family, that even before hope. And the cycle continues. Meanwhile, they tell us proudly, GDP grew by 4.4%, a record. What a contradiction. One of the richest countries in the world with one of the worst wealth gaps. GDP growth isn't for us. It's for the shareholders, the landlords, and the top 1%. Wealth doesn't trickle down. It floods upward. They call us stakeholders. But let's be real. If you're drowning in student debt, you're not a stakeholder. You're a debt livestock. If you're a gig worker without CPF, you're not flexible. You're disposable. If you're praying your flat outlives its 99-year lease, you're not an owner. You're a renter paying interest on your own CPF. And this is why I stepped up to join RDU, why I accepted the calling to contest this election. We are facing undeniable class inequality in our society. And to address this, we must all stand together and build class solidarity. In Holland Bukit Timah GRC, yes, there are private and landed properties. But remember this, as long as you depend on your own labor to make a living, you are part of the working class. It's not about how much you earn, but about how you earn. Do you sell your own labor, or do you profit off the labor of others? No one begrudges honest success. But if your wealth comes from squeezing others without giving back, we have a problem. For high wage earners and SME owners, you have more in common with your office cleaners, your security guards, the hawkers that feed you, the migrant workers being transported at the back of lorries, and Palestinians, than with your own elitist ministers, the ruling class and the top 1%. The elite ruling class, they don't care whether you earn $5,000 or $50,000. You are still not part of their club. This election, it's time for us to come together. One common struggle, one common fight. Reject the PAP's divide and rule, Malay, Chinese, Indian, or whatever identity politics. Our real enemy is not any single individual that is all the way on top, but this classist system itself. Stand together with me, and I promise that my team and I will work to realize our vision of fair value for all. Every resident will be treated with respect. Every feedback will be valued. We will not say we will look into issues and bury it under the rug. We will be open, transparent, and work hard to make sure your voice is not only heard, but amplified. First-time voters, your ballot is your power. Demand the future where you're not a guest in your own country. Young professionals, stop begging for scraps. Vote for wages that match your worth. Gig workers, you are not flexible. You are exploited. Let's come together and demand our rights. Together, we can build the Singapore where every citizen is first class, not just the elites. When you vote for Red Dot United, you are voting to rebuild your own country with dignity, not pity. You are voting to smash the elitist mindset of the incumbent. You are voting for your future. First-class citizens, fairer Singapore. Vote for me, Sharad Kumar. Vote for Red Dot United. Majulah Singapura.
Thank you, Sharad. Well, for all those first-time voting in this coming election, we will welcome you to really listen to what we have to offer, and we hope to be your voice in the parliament. This election is just not about Red Dot United, it's about you, your family, and your future. And without further ado, let me introduce the next speaker from Holland Bukit Timah team, Mr. Nizar Subair.
My friends, neighbors, and fellow Singaporeans of Holland Bukit Timah GRC. My name is Nizar Subair. Tonight, I stand before you not just as a candidate, but as one of you. A son of this soil, shaped by the same struggles, driven by the same hopes. Why have I come forward? Let me be clear. I'm here because I cannot stay silent about the one pressing issue that touches every family, every young couple, every senior citizen. The cost of living in Singapore. For too long, prices have gone up while wages have not kept pace. Our people are squeezed between rising food costs, escalating healthcare bills, and unaffordable housing. I believe no Singaporeans should have to choose between medication and a meal, between caring for their parents and raising their children. I came forward because I am tired of watching everyday Singaporeans fall behind while we are told that everything is stable and under control. No, it is not. We need voices in Parliament who will change that narrative. We need voices who will fight for dignity, affordability, and opportunity for all, not just the privileged few. Why should the residents of Holland Bukit Timah vote for Red Dot United? Because Holland Bukit Timah is not just a collection of HDB blocks or private estates. It is a community of hardworking people who deserves better. We are a constituency with heart. We've weathered COVID together, supported one another through job losses, through changes, and yet we are still overlooked. While others offer recycled promises, or worse, stoop to scripting divisive crowd chants to attack rivals, I offer you my undivided community service. Service that means showing up when even no one is watching. I have listened. I have walked your corridors. I visited your void decks. Talked to your stall holders. Ladies and gentlemen, I recall PM Lawrence Wong talking about negative politics, but guess what? A report from the online citizen shared that Mr. Edward Chia's script in his rally speech contained a liner which required a member of the audience to shout and show discontent against another party. That part of the speech may not have been executed, but it shows you very clearly that while PM Lawrence Wong speaks to the media on avoiding negative politics, the PAP is orchestrating negative politics in other ways. The PAP is willing to do a lot of things, including breaking rules and smearing its opposition. Leadership is not about stoking anger or orchestrating cheap political theatrics. True leadership is about being adaptable, flexible, empathetic, and accepting of diversity. And I will make this promise to you. I will fight to bring down the cost of living, starting with advocating for immediate reviews of GST hikes, more subsidies for essential healthcare, and fairer housing policies for first-time home buyers. No Singaporeans should be left behind just because they earn less, live in a rental flat, or didn't go to the right school. I will bring your voice into Parliament, not to echo, but to speak up loudly, clearly, relentlessly. Tonight is the last night I can speak to you before polling day. Let me be honest. This election is not just about me. It is about us, our families, our futures. We cannot afford 5 more years of the same. We need courageous, independent voices in Parliament, not managers who hide behind scripted attacks, nor politicians who bend rules to cling to power. This is your choice. A vote for the same old tactics where candidates manipulate crowds, then erase their mistakes, or a vote for a future where integrity and your needs come first. First-class citizens, a fairer Singapore. Vote for me, Nizar Subir. Vote for Red Dot United. Majulah Singapura. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nizar Subir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, residents of Yishun GRC, you have heard it from our first two speakers, giving you some questions for you to ponder about before you go on the polling day on the 3rd of May. So, do you want to have 5 years of the same old recycle promises? Or do you want change with a new, fresh perspective? So just think about that, and we'll let you sink in. And for the next speaker will be myself, and I'll be speaking in Malay. Okay, I need my sign language interpreter for Malay, so that for maybe we can give them a round of applause for our sign language interpreter. They have been working with us for the past 3 rallies, so this is the 4th one, and they did a very good job for those who need the sign languages interpretation. Okay, allow me to begin my speech in Malay. Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera, rakan-rakan Singapura sekalian. Saya Fazli Talib, calon Wedot United untuk Holland Bukit Timah GRC. Sepanjang kempen beberapa hari ini, saya telah berjalan di kawasan undi Holland Bukit Timah, mendengar rintihan, harapan dan impian anda semua. Apa yang saya dengar menyentuh hati. Di sebalik kemakmuran negara, ramai yang masih bergelut dengan kesusahan. Saya bertemu pasangan muda, rajin bekerja, penuh kasih sayang, bersedia untuk memulakan keluarga. Tapi mereka tidak mampu membeli rumah berhampiran ibu bapa, kerana harga pasaran semula atau harga resale terlalu tinggi. Mereka terperangkap ambil pinjaman yang membebankan, pindah lebih jauh, atau tangguhkan impian mereka. Ini tidak adil. Di Singapura, membina sebuah keluarga tidak sepatutnya menjadi kemewahan. Ada juga seorang bapa muda yang saya temui, pekerja pentadbiran pada siang hari atau admin worker, tetapi pada malam hari pemandu Grab, dan pada hujung minggu dia masih memandu Grab. Dia rasa keletahan, tetapi terlepas saat berharga dengan anak-anak hanya untuk memenuhi keperluan asas. Kenapa? Sebab kos sara hidup terus menaik, tetapi gaji tidak naik seiringan. Rakyat Singapura tak sepatutnya kerja menghabiskan tenaga hanya untuk hidup selesa. Saya tahu ini bukan cerita-cerita yang terpencil. Ada ramai di antara anda yang pernah dengar kisah sebegini atau sendiri yang sedang mengalaminya. Ya, inilah realiti. Realiti buat terlalu ramai orang yang ada di sini. Kita dikatakan dunia negara pertama, tetapi adakah kita dianggap warga negara kelas pertama? Sebab itu saya berdiri di sini kerana Red Dot percaya kepada Singapura yang perumahan yang mampu dimiliki, bukan beban kewangan turun-temurun. Gaji setara supaya tiada perlu bekerja 2 atau 3 pekerjaan hanya untuk mengisikan perut untuk keluarga. Dasar utamakan rakyat, bukan keuntungan atau prestige. Manifesto kami bukan sekadar kata-kata. Ia adalah janji. Janji untuk berjuang demi satu, dasar perumahan telus untuk kekalkan harga pasaran semula yang mampu dimiliki. Dua, perlindungan gaji lebih kukuh agar pekerjaan memberi maruah bukan tekanan. Tiga, sokongan nyata untuk keluarga. Dari penjagaan anak ke kesihatan. Ringankan beban rakyat berpendapatan sederhana atau rendah. Kajian tentang kepimpinan menunjukkan pemimpin abad yang ke-21 perlu ada empati. Empati bermaksud fahami rakyat dan cipta dasar atau polisi yang membantu rakyat. Rakyat Singapura berhak hidup dengan maruah, keadilan dan kerajaan yang mendengar, bukan mengarah rakyat. Jadi pada hari ini, saya memohon kepada anda semua, bersamalah dengan saya dan pasukan-pasukan Red United, undi untuk suara yang utamakan anda. Undi untuk tindakan, bukan janji lama yang diulang-ulang. Bersama kita membina Singapura yang setiap warga kelas pertama. Pada 3 Mei, hari Sabtu besok Jumaat, lusa hari Sabtu. Undi kepada Red United. Undi untuk masa depan anda. Dan undi untuk Singapura yang lebih baik lagi. Majulah Singapura. Terima kasih. Okay, now I would like to wrap up for the Holland Bukit Timah GRC team. She's the only lady among all the tons. When we walk the ground, I'm kind of surprised. People call her auntie, but she's no ordinary auntie. And let us get to know her. Please put your hands and welcome Emily Wu.
My fellow Singaporeans and residents of Holland Bukit Timah GRC, good evening to you all. I am Emily Wu, 59 years old. Yes, I'm 59 now. A music teacher. People call me Auntie Emily sometimes. You can also call me Auntie Emily if you wish. The choice is yours. I won't be offended because I know I'm an auntie age. All right, this auntie is a Public Service Commission scholar. I graduated from Catholic Institute University in Paris. I'm one of the candidates for Holland Bukit Timah GRC. I stand before you today not just as a candidate, but as someone who deeply cares about what is happening in Singapore. I step forward because I see the challenges the seniors face every day, and I believe we can and should do better. By 2030, 1 in 4 Singaporeans, myself inclusive, will be 65 years old and above. In the twinkling of an eye, I have also going to reach 65 in 5 years' time. This is not just a statistic. It's our parents, our grandparents, our neighbors. Many seniors today are struggling with the rising cost of living. Some are falling through the cracks because of red tape and restrictions. Some worry about putting food on the table. Others face underemployment or unemployment despite a lifetime of toil and hard work. Do our seniors deserve this kind of life with no dignity? Shouldn't our Merdeka, our pioneer generation, be entitled to steady job with steady wages and steady CPF? Yes. They shouldn't be searching through the online portals, that is, if they are digital savvy enough. They need help to look for jobs. And many of these jobs, you'll be surprised, it's a matter of fastest fingers win. A lot of them are gig economy jobs with no CPF. They pay by the day. For the seniors, I also hear your frustrations. Some express difficulty in meeting their MPs at Meet the People sessions. We have a resident, let's call her Madam Mary. She has expressed that she has gone to see her MP twice, but each time the MP only dropped in and came at the end of the session, at the tail end of the session. Now, our MPs paid a lot of money to do their job. Why should they drop in at the tail end? Shouldn't they be at the session from the beginning to the end? Is it just a part-time job for them? Are they just dropping in as a guest? It's their job. Why should you trust me to fight for you? Because this is my home. I grew up in Ghim Moh. I've worked with students across Holland, Bukit Timah, mentoring the next generation. But I also know that we must take care of those who built the foundation for us. That is why my plan is clear. Number 1, real jobs for seniors. I will push for skills future training that translates to real jobs with fair wages and benefits. It's not a hobby of collecting skills future certificates that you put aside. No more dead-end courses, real opportunities. Number 2, stronger support systems. More awareness campaigns to connect seniors with aid, from food assistance to healthcare subsidies. No one should go hungry because of bureaucracy. 3, mental health checkups. Through grassroots efforts, we will ensure that no senior feels alone. No senior should feel isolated. No senior should feel that they have been abandoned by the system, that we have forgotten them just because we are no longer young. When you reach old age, or when you even reach the halfway mark, 50 years old, you will see a difference. You will find out that it's so difficult to get a steady job. So I ask you, dear friends, dear voters, vote for action. Vote for commitment. Vote for a representative who won't just talk about change. Walk with us every day, and we will walk with you with heart and determination. Let's return the dignity to our seniors and to all our Singaporean workers, whether you are young or middle-aged. Let's live in a society and live in our homeland where every Singaporean is a first-class citizen, where we don't have to fight with others for a job. There should be a citizens hiring first policy. Together, let's build a community where every senior lives with dignity. I am Emily Wu. Vote for me to represent you in Parliament. I am your voice. Vote for Red Dot United. Majulah Singapura.
没有用了，我们站在草地上，以后跟空地不可以用。
Alright, thank you, Miss Emily Wu or Auntie Emily. Okay, and next, let us proceed on to the next constituency. So from Holland Bukit Timah, and now let us bring you to Jurong Central SMC. We are having the only female SMC's candidate, a single mom with a school-going child. She used to be in the military, and here she is now. Together with us, let's welcome Miss Kala Manikam.
Okay, good evening.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, okay, because we have the list of orders for the Yishun candidate, as this is the home turf for them, they will be speaking towards the end. So we have all the other candidates, and also to the benefit for all those other voters from other constituency who are watching us live and couldn't be here at Yishun. So let us proceed on with Jurong Central SMC, Miss Kala Manikam.
My dear fellow Singaporeans, I'm Kala Manikam, a proud Singaporean, a graduate with Masters of Arts in Education, a research-based program. I'm also a single mom to a 16-year-old daughter. My career journey began in service as one of the pioneer female SAF officers in the Tri-Service Officer Cadet Course 190 OCC. I trained alongside with men, led a platoon commander at the Officer Cadet School, then moved into the private sector, building on the on-job training institutions. In the healthcare, I helped and nurtured leaderships among nurses at SGH and National Heart Centre. As for the past 20 years, I have served in education, building skills, building confidence, and building people. But my friends, across all these years, one thing continues to hurt me deeply. We are building economic success, but we are not building enough emotional well-being. We are not caring enough for the mental health of our people. We have a world-class infrastructure, world-class universities, world-class business, but too often, behind closed doors, we have people battling stress alone, families struggling with anxiety, children overwhelmed with silent pressures, workers burnt out but too afraid to speak. If you notice, the stress level is sitting from a kid to all the way to the retiree. Let's look at the kids who go to school 6 hours spending for the primary school, and secondary school may even spend about 7-8 hours, but they still have to come back home and have too much homework to do. So if our kids are not even given time to even do any kind of play, how are we going to improve the creativity? Among the teenagers, we are talking about teenagers who are in a polytechnics or university. Look at the level of pressure they have to do in order to score academic success. And young adults in a working environment, always living in fear whether this job will remain for the next 10 years or 15 years because too many retrenchments. It's okay to have retrenchments, but is there any job redesign is being given to these adults? The moment you hit 40, good luck to you. That's where they say getting a job is challenging. And those in a retirement age, you can see they also go through another set of stress level which is also beyond comprehension, like my fellow running mate said. They are lonely and nobody is connecting to them and they are left alone. So these all levels of stress actually affects the mental well-being of a person. I just came from a walkabout at Jurong Central. A lady who's staying alone, and she says the biggest stress is no one around me. Anything can happen. I have to handle everything on my own. And she's fragile. And this is another level of stress they are going through, with not even have a dignity to live in an environment where they can actually value every moment to the highest level. So this is very sad when she was sharing the story. So my fellow Singaporeans, every time I stand before you, I feel the strength of something powerful. Not just the strength of a crowd, but the strength of a people rising together. At our first rally, we spoke about finding the courage to transform fear into faith. At our second rally, we made clarifications to make a stand that opposition strengthens the government, bringing in new ideas and perspectives. At our third rally, we shared our vision of Singapore as a family. And today I say this is our Singapore, this is our home, where every voice matters and every heart matters too. Real success is not measured by the height of our skyscrapers. It is measured by the strength of our community, the happiness of our people, the health of our hearts and minds. In the Singapore, we are ready to build. Mental well-being will be mental well-being will be the rights of the Singaporean, is not a privilege. We will make emotional well-being a national priority. We will invest in mental health services that are affordable, accessible, and stigma-free, especially stigma-free. We will make green spaces more accessible to everyone, especially those staying in HDB and rental flats. We will support our students, our workers, our elderly with real resources, not just nice words. We will open spaces for conversation. We will empower people to seek help without shame. We will make it clearer. It is okay not to be okay. It's okay to ask for help. It is brave to heal. Because a truly successful Singapore is a happy, healthy Singapore. My friends, you see, real change is not just about you. Vote for real change is about yourself. Your hopes, your ideas, your rights to be heard, and your rights to be cared for. For too long, too many Singaporeans have felt that they had no voices. For too long, decisions have been made without enough consultation, without enough listening. We are here to change that. We are here to build a Singapore with you, not just for you. Leadership is not about commanding from above. It's about listening from the ground. It's about hearing the concerns of the mother raising a child, a family. The struggles of a young person trying to find hope in stressful world. The dreams of an elderly citizen who built this nation with his bare hands. Imagine a government that doesn't fear feedback, but welcomes it. Imagine a Singapore where town halls are open, where we can speak and say anything we want, where discussions are real, where policies are shaped with you, by you, and for you. That is Singapore we believe in. A fairer Singapore where you feel like first-class citizens. That is the future we are ready to build together. To build this future, we need you, not just today, not just on polling day, but every day after. We need your voice. We need your heart. We need your courage. This election is not the end, it's a beginning of a new chapter. Written not by a few at the top, but all of us are here. My friends, this is our Singapore. This is our home. It is our future. It's our happiness. Let us rise together. Let us speak together. Let us heal together. Let us build together. This is our Singapore, a fairer Singapore where every voice matters. I just want to say, whatever I said, just I'm saying very from my bottom of my heart, every single thing, it doesn't come from us. It comes from you Singaporeans. So your voices are very important. So vote for Kala Manikam to represent in the parliament. Vote for Red Dot United to be a voice. And vote for RDU. Onward Singapore. Majulah Singapura.
Okay, thank you, Kala Manikam. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome our Secretary General of Red Dot United, and he is also the candidate for Yishun GRC. Please welcome him. Friends, Singaporeans, we already wanted, you have heard, 5 of our speakers earlier on. And from Jurong Central SMC, Wat Kala Manikam, she really poured out her dedications and why she needs your vote to be in the parliament. So without further ado, let me bring you to the next constituency. Just beside Jurong Central SMC, we have the team from Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC. And to kick off for their team, we have Mr. Ben Phua.
Yishun 居民，亲爱的新加坡人，大家晚安，大家晚上好。我是 Ben Phua 潘家定，红点同心党 Red Dot United 在裕廊东5级8都区集选区的候选人。今天我站在你们面前，不是以一个政客的身份，而是一个普通的新加坡人，一个深深爱着这个国家的公民。就像你们当中的许多人一样。我亲眼看见生活成本的上涨，如何一点一滴的影响了我们的生活。在我走访社区时，我遇见了年轻父母为了照顾孩子的费用，必须打好几份工。我也和一些年长者交流过，了解一些要在买药和省钱之间做很难的选择。这些不是个例。而是许多家庭每天面对的现实。如果我们不马上站出来采取行动，我们将失去社会的核心价值。我们的经济虽然增长了，但它增长的公平吗？社会的贫富差距越来越大，我们必须确保经济增长不是造福顶层，而是让每一个人都受惠。工资必须随着生活成本的上涨而提升。我们的年轻人不应该觉得自己在跑一场永远追不上的马拉松。让我们一起建立一个以人为本，而不只是看数字的经济。年长的新加坡人不应该生活在担忧生病的恐惧中。一生努力工作的人，不该孤独终老。更不该被遗忘。照顾年长者不是一种负担，而是一种责任。请记住，这次选举不只是选择一个代表，而是选择一个会聆听、会理解、会采取行动的人，让你们对未来充满信心。裕廊东5级8都的选民们。我不是来开空头支票的，我站在这里是因为我知道什么是挣扎，什么是生活的困境。我是首届 President Young Talent 奖得主，并投身文化与社区工作超过20年。我带着实际的想法来到这里，这些想法不只保护大家的生计，更能让它发展壮大。但有些人只能看见眼前，我看见的是我们可以一起打造的未来。 有些人可能认为，在艰难时期谈艺术不实际，但我看见它的潜力。是的，现在许多人都在为生存、为设计而挣扎。正因为如此，我们更需要用的不同的方式思考问题。人民行动党或许只能把这里看作一个选区，但我 Ben 看见的是一个家，一面写满社区热情和梦想的墙，一片有活力的空气，一颗充满希望的心。艺术不仅仅是画画和表演，艺术可以吸引人群，凝聚社区。当我们聪明地运用艺术时，我们的社区会变得更有活力。它能带动人流，支持本地商家和小贩，支持本地创业者，也让我们的年轻人看到希望，愿意留下来，在这里扎根发展。这就是我们要建设的一个有生命力、有温度、有未来的选区。在此，我向大家做出一个承诺：如果您把信任交给我，我将不仅仅让这个地方成为一个适合居住的地方，更是让它成为一个适合成长的家园。我将会全力为你们争取对你们有利的政策，支持民生，尊重年长者，推动文化与经济的融合，把我们的社区打造一个充满活力、富有创意、温暖的家。这个礼拜六，请投下你珍贵的一票，不只是为了今天，而是为了我们应得的明天。投票支持一个更公平的新加坡，投票支持红点同心党 ，First Class Citizens, Fairer Singapore, Vote for Ben Phua, Vote for RDU United, Majulah Singapura. Thank you， 谢谢。
Thank you, Mr. Ben Phua. Next, let us welcome a very inspirational lady that I known her since 2020. She has a very strong personality and inspire many of us through her books. So let us welcome Miss Liana Damira.
Thank you. Good evening, Yishun. My name is Liana Damira, and I'm standing here today not just as a candidate of RDU United, not just as your neighbor from the heartlands, but as a mother, a worker, a survivor, and a Singaporean who knows what it means to struggle. Before the titles, before the interviews, and long before I ever stood on a stage, I'm first and foremost a mother. I have 4 children, 2 sons waiting to serve NS, 2 daughters who keep me sharp and grounded. I'm a wife. My husband drives out to 14 hours a day just to keep things going. And like many of you, I work hard. I run my own small business. I also serve full-time in a non-profit that helps those in need. And like many of you, I know what it feels to stretch every dollar, to worry whether there'll be enough left at the end of the month. But I wasn't born into hardship. I grew up right here in Yishun. I went to Hua Min Primary, Northland Secondary. Now life changed when my parents divorced. Things got tougher. I'll never forget the lowest point. Pregnant, homeless, sleeping in a tent by Sembawang Beach. Yes, this happened in 2009, right here. And my MP then? Yes, the same Mr. Shanmugam you have today. Now, I'm not here to shame anyone, but we must ask, how much has really changed? Have the systems become more compassionate? Have the leaders become more accountable? If not for a chance encounter with Ravi Philemon, I might have given birth in that tent. Agencies only step in after others already had. That experience shaped me. You can read more in my book, Homeless, The Untold Story of a Mother's Struggle in Crazy Rich Singapore. It's not just my story. It's a mirror showing us how many fall through the cracks. Single mothers, the underpaid, the overlooked, too many still choosing between medicine and groceries, skipping meals, shelving dreams, just to get by. So, why politics? Because dignity shouldn't depend on who you know, because help shouldn't come only when you are on the news, because the system must do better. Radio United isn't here to taste titles. We are here to raise the standard. And the one issue that keeps me up at night, how Malays are still made to feel invisible in our own country. If elected, I will seek to voice out for the Malay community, my community, our Singapore community. To treat Malay with dignity as an optional national language. To celebrate our culture, honor our heroes. To always listen to the interests and anguish of the Malay community when we speak about things like the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. I raised these issues at the start of this GE. These were our ideas, but they were ignored, not debated. But what did I get instead? I was insulted for my looks, my race, my past. But I stood firm. Because this isn't about me. It's about the future we are building. I did not give in because this is about you, the people of Clementi, Jurong, Bukit Batok, Holland, Bukit Timah, and Yishun. I walk your streets, I visit your kopitiams, and I see it. The growing divide between the elite and the everyday Singaporeans. We are one Singaporean, but we are not one class. So here's my promise to Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC. I will speak from the ground, not from air-conditioned rooms. From your concerns, your stories, your truth. So let me ask you, Has your life improved in the last 5 years? Are you more secure, more hopeful, more heard? If your answer is no, then why give the same silence for another 5 years? Let me be clear, this is not a fight about race or religion. This is a fight about class between the ultra-rich and the rest of us who are just trying to survive, between the connected and the ordinary Singaporeans who have only one thing left: our voice. So let's use it. This Saturday, vote for courage, vote for compassion, vote for a better Singapore. Vote me, Liana Damira, vote Red Dot United, Majulah Singapura, vote RDU. Thank you. So excited, forgot my Malay speech. Selamat malam, Yishun. Nama saya Liana Damira. Saya berdiri di sini bukan sekadar calon Red Dot United, tetapi sebagai seorang ibu, seorang pekerja, seorang pejuang dan seorang rakyat Singapura yang tahu erti kesusahan. Sebelum ada gelaran, sebelum ada wawancara, sebelum saya berdiri atas pentas sebegini, saya seorang ibu. Ibu kepada 4 orang anak. 2 anak lelaki yang akan menjalani NS, 2 anak perempuan yang buat saya kuat dan rendah hati. Suami saya memandu hingga 14 jam sehari. Saya pun bekerja keras sebagai seorang usahawan kecil dan juga berkhidmat sepenuh masa di pertubuhan kebajikan. Saya tahu apa rasanya berjimat setiap sen. Saya tahu apa selalunya Saya tahu apa selalunya kebimbangan di hujung-hujung bulan. Saya dibesarkan di Yishun, sekolah di Huamin Primary dan Northland Secondary. Tapi hidup berubah bila ibu bapa saya bercerai. Paling teruk, saya hamil, tiada rumah, tidur dalam kemah di tepi pantai Sembawang. Ini berlaku pada tahun 2009. Dan MP saya ketika itu, ya, Encik Syamugam yang sama. Saya tidak mahu malukan sesiapa, tapi kita mesti tanya, apa yang telah berubah? Adakah sistem kita lebih belas kasihan? Adakah pemimpin kita lebih bertanggungjawab? Kalau bukan kerana pertemuan dengan Ravi Filemon, saya mungkin bersalin dalam kemah di tepi pantai Sembawang. Kisah saya ada dalam buku Homeless, The Untold Story of a Mother's Struggle in Crazy Rich Singapore. Tapi itu bukan cerita saya. Itu mencerminkan masalah yang ada dalam masyarakat kita. Ramai masih terpinggir, ibu tunggal, pekerja bergaji rendah, warga emas yang dilupakan. Kenapa saya ceburi politik? Kerana maruah tidak seharusnya bergantung pada siapa yang anda kenal. Bantuan tidak patut datang hanya selepas anda masuk berita. Dan isu paling berat dalam hati saya adalah bagaimana masyarakat Melayu masih terasa terpinggir di tanah air sendiri. Kalau saya dipilih, saya akan bersuara untuk komuniti saya, untuk masyarakat Melayu Islam saya, untuk bahasa Melayu diberi penghormatan, untuk suara kita didengari, termasuk isu kemanusiaan seperti di Gaza.
Tetapi isu dan idea-idea yang saya ketengahkan diabaikan. Sebaliknya, saya diserang atas dasar rupa saya, kaum saya, sejarah saya. Tapi saya tetap teguh. Kerana ini bukan tentang saya. Ini tentang masa depan kita semua rakyat Singapura. Jadi saya tanya anda, adakah hidup anda bertambah baik 5 tahun yang lepas? Kalau tidak, mengapa beri 5 tahun lagi kepada PAP? Sabtu ini, undilah dengan keberanian. Undilah untuk harapan yang lebih baik untuk Singapura. Undilah saya, Liana Damira, undilah Red Dot United, undilah RDU. Majulah Singapura. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Miss Liana. Next, we have another young, handsome guy from Johor East, Bukit Batok. Without further ado, let us welcome Mr. Marcus Neo.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marcus Neo, your Red Dot United candidate for Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC. In the last 3 rallies, I've spoken about housing, job security, economics. However, today I want to talk about something that we must not forget about. Something that is fundamental to our Singaporean identity. And that something is our social cohesion. It is the invisible glue that binds all of us here as fellow Singaporeans. Look at the PAP slate of candidates across Singapore. Who do you see? Former high-ranking civil servants. Even when they choose candidates from the private sector, they come from establishment-linked institutions with vanilla perfect resumes. The PAP government keeps telling Singaporeans that we need to invest in skills, go for a skills future, have diverse work experience, and even take a pay cut for young Singaporeans for better exposure. But when was the last time the PAP walked the talk? When was the last time they took a pay cut or upskilled? They continue to fill the same kind of candidates, those with strong links to the establishment. They even parachute so-called potential office holders into GRCs, holding the electorate ransom. Dear voters, let me ask you, when you are looking for an MP to help you with your day-to-day struggles, who would you rather have? An out of touch elite, someone with perhaps performative, rehearsed emotion, or someone that has struggled in life too, who has worked hard, failed, they have gotten back up, and someone who has lived through untold stories that you Singaporeans have went through yourselves. Don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with conventional metrics of measurements of success. But I think as Singaporeans, it is about time we place faith and confidence in those who may have a later start in life, but have strived, have persevered, and succeeded in spite of coming from very ordinary backgrounds. These are the very Singaporeans that will lend you that gentle, kind, warm pat on the shoulder in times of difficulty. That is the type of MP that will represent you well in Parliament. Not someone that is untested, always parked at safe harbor, never having to face any adversity in their life. The PAP wants you to believe that only their candidates with vanilla perfect CVs can govern Singapore. But look at today's disconnect. Young Singaporeans have to wait 3 years for their BTOs, while million-dollar salaried ministers live in black and white bungalows with the land size of multiple football fields. Ordinary Singaporeans have to get by with CDC vouchers, while ministers receive million-dollar salaries. Dear voters of Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC, if you vote the team led by Ms. Grace Fu into Parliament, you are essentially giving them a free pass to tell you that you have to pay more for food, you have to replace chicken with other forms of meat when it's too expensive, you have to pay more for a roof over your heads. You may be staying in Bukit Batok, Hong Kong North, Clementi, or Jurong East, but let me be clear, a blank vote for the PAP means I get to tell you year on year that you should pay $5 for wonton mees because you should be able to afford $18 for pastas, so on and so forth. It is a free pass for them to go into Parliament and gaslight Singaporeans to tell you that the PAP takes one chicken but give you back an entire chicken. Take one chicken wing but give you back an entire chicken. Today, the social fabric that once glued Singaporeans together, regardless of race, language, or religion, seems to be frayed at the seams. Social cohesion isn't achieved by ivory-towered elites making decisions for the rest of us. It isn't achieved by sending out forward SG surveys with no real follow-up actions. Social cohesion is built when everyday Singaporeans have their concerns both heard and addressed. It is built when our policies reflect the real concerns of ordinary Singaporeans, not just economic indicators that look good in global rankings. It is built when every citizen feels genuine hope in their hearts. In my walkabouts across Jurong East, Bukit Batok, GRC, actually for other parts of Singapore as well, I've met countless residents who feel forgotten by the system. Senior citizens and the elderly are worried about healthcare costs, skipping medical treatments, and even those that are staying in landed properties. You'll be surprised. Young couples saying that they can't secure a flat after multiple BTO tries. Skilled young Singaporeans who have graduated from our local universities, driving Grab, being underemployed with no job security due to senseless open labour policies. If elected into Parliament, I will push to ensure senior citizens have access to elderly facilities. Simple things like lifts in bus interchanges, in particular Bukit Batok bus interchange, that the PAP MPs have ignored, or bus stops that they seem to have forgotten about. I will push for fairer out-of-pocket expenses when it comes to medical expenses for seniors and all Singaporeans. I promise to be a fearless voice for all Singaporeans. I will fight for policies that put Singaporeans first. I will fight so that we do not feel like second-class citizens in our own country. Dear voters of Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC, on polling day on May the 3rd, you have a clear choice. You can choose more of the same, the tired, old, redundant formula, more elite MPs who have made their boasts through the comforts of being associated with government-linked institutions, more of the cold establishment telling you that they know what's best for you. Or you can walk with us. You can walk with the people beside of you today. You can walk with Red Dot United. You can walk with the real voices of fellow Singaporeans. Vote for Red Dot United. Vote for a Singapore that puts her citizens first. Vote for a fairer Singapore. Majulah Singapura. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus Neo. Well, friends, Singaporeans, you have heard from all our candidates here, from Holland Bukit Timah, Jurong Central SMC, Jurong East Bukit Batok. These are ordinary Singaporeans who put their life up here to give you a choice. Why? Whatever issues that Holland Bukit Timah GRC are facing is also the same issues that Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC is facing as well. And likewise for Jurong Central SMCs. And in Yishun, I believe you are also facing the same issues. Because why? We are Singaporean. These issues really matters to you. And we want Singaporeans to know that Red Dot United candidates are here to be your voice in the parliament. And we want this voice to be heard. And I invite Mr. Harish Mohanadas from Jurong East Bukit Batok to address us. Thank you.
Dear residents of Yishun GRC, and to visitors from Jurong East Bukit Batok, Jurong Central, and Holland Bukit Timah, thank you for being here tonight. My name is Harish Mohanadas, and I am RDU's candidate for Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC. When I started on this campaign, I told you about my motivations for joining politics. I want to make systems work and work well for everyone. The system in Singapore is not broken, but there are emerging gaps that are widening. If left unplugged, they can eventually sink the entire ship. Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC is a chimera of sorts, drawing from parts of Yuhua, Jurong East, Toh Guan, Clementi, Bukit Batok East, Bukit Batok West, and Hong Kong North. During our campaign trail, we have visited all these differing areas, and we know that there are many things which bind residents living there. We know that we are all Singaporeans, though from different walks of life. We are from different backgrounds, but none were part of the elite, the well-connected, or the super rich. Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC is, by and large, emblematic of the heartlands of Singapore. Red Dot United's manifesto and policy proposals seek to serve Singaporeans from all walks of life. We want to raise the standard of your lives and your livelihoods, squarely in line with our campaign slogan, Raise the Standard. Closer to the ground, we know that you, residents of Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC, are connected to one another. We might live in different estates, but we take the same public transport, send our children to the same schools. Residents in Bukit Batok travel to Jurong East to get onto the East-West line. Residents in Yuhua get to the downtown line using buses that are also used by residents in Hong Kong North. There are many new developments in adjacent constituencies, specifically in response to Tengah, which will impact residents of Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC, both positively and negatively. There are positive new developments such as the Jurong Region MRT line, and residents in Toh Guan and Bukit Batok West can expect to be served when Stage 2 of the line completes in 2028. The influx of young families to Tengah will also result in more load on your roads, public transport networks, and other infrastructure such as schools. These are concerns which have been raised by residents we have spoken to. In terms of schools, we know that Bukit View Primary School, which is currently in Bukit Batok East, will be relocated to Bukit Batok West in 2027 to cater for newer BTO developments. If elected, I promise to push for better transport connectivity within Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC, for greater transparency in transport, land use, and infrastructure-related decisions in the area. While we want to be welcoming as neighbors, strained infrastructure can have impact on our social cohesion. Residents have told us many times about frayed nerves when squeezing in crowded trains. RDU will hold the government accountable in the town planning that affects the movement of residents between estates and causes strain on infrastructure. I am a trained civil engineer and a software engineer, and I develop software products in the urban infrastructure, water, and environment space for government and industry clients. I deal with maps. I deal with maps, I deal with networks, I deal with infrastructure, and I deal with them through high levels of analysis and software techniques. I have been involved with feasibility studies for mega projects such as Phase 2 of Singapore's deep tunnel sewerage system, and authority approvals and land take planning for other infrastructure projects. I am thus well poised to be your representative in Parliament. To push for these issues of infrastructure and connectivity which concern you, residents of Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC. Together with my team, we offer you, voters of Jurong East Bukit Batok, the standard of living that you deserve as citizens of a thriving first world nation. We will raise the standard, not just in Parliament, but in your estate, in the place you call home, in your everyday lives. Vote for me, Harish Mohanadas. Vote for Red Dot United. Vote for first-class citizens in a fairer Singapore. Majulah Singapura. Majulah Singapura. Thank you.
Thank you, Harish. Well, to sum up for the lineup of Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC, let's welcome Mr. Osman Sulaiman.
My fellow Singaporeans, a very good evening and thank you for being here. I'm Osman Sulaiman, one of the candidates contesting in Jurong East and Bukit Batok. I've spoken on many rallies, but Yishun, when I go to Yishun, I'm still a bit nervous. You know, online they say anything only Yishun. Today will be our last rally for GE2025. My colleague and I have come not as politicians, but as fellow Singaporeans who have felt the same pressures, share the same hopes, and face the same challenges as many of us do. We have come forward to contest in this general election because we believe our country is at a turning point, a moment that calls for not just a change, but for leadership renewal and real representation. We face many social injustices. Our voices have gone unheard. Decisions that affect us have been made without even consulting us. We struggle to afford housing. We are all burdened by the rising costs, and we are anxious about our future. That cannot be the Singapore that we want. Our tax dollars, no matter how small it is, deserve to be respected. Our voices deserve to be heard. And our trust must never be taken for granted. But you won't get this with the PAP government. The PAP has lost its bearing. It has completely lost its moral compass. You know, in 2019, PAP MPs called for harsher punishments on security officers for unprofessional behavior like consuming alcohol or sleeping on the job. They want accountability. That's good. We need our security officers to be awake and alert. But they are asking to fine this security officer more than they are being paid. They want to fine them more than how much they earn in a month. And all this is coming from our MPs who easily earn 10 times the salary of our security officer. And the irony is this: when Parliament is in session, deciding the affairs of the nation, and they are caught sleeping on the job. Lukwana, Esaibo. Dear voters, the PAP is divorced from the common man. We have ministers saying that GST increase is taking a chicken wing from us, giving back a chicken. I just don't know whether this makes sense. Even precious metal like gold, silver, bullion, there's no GST on it. But when we ask to reduce the GST, they say cannot. I can promise you today, RDU will not step on you. We will not make light of your woes, or we will not disrespect you. We are here to fight for you. If elected, RDU will champion policies that prioritize fairness, transparency, and opportunity. We will work to ensure that housing is not a speculative asset, but a home for every family. We will push for a healthcare system that is affordable, not one where our seniors have to skip medication because it is too expensive. We will stand for an economy that works for workers of all levels. For every person who wakes up early in the morning, works hard, and asks only for a fair chance to succeed. And yes, we will demand accountability, because a government must serve its people. What's at stake in this election is not just a seat in Parliament. What is at stake is the country that we want to build. My dear brothers and sisters, we are not powerless. Our future is not written by the PAP. It is written with our own hands. So when you go to the polls this Saturday, let us unleash the warriors in us. Do not fear. The choice is ours to make. We cannot be voting the same party over and over again and expecting different results. This is our home. We built it and we bled for it. Those who want to govern Singapore not only must have iron in him, we also must have the heart in the right places. Dear voters, with your vote, hopes and courage, we can build a better Singapore. Let us create a nation, regardless of race, language or religion, is treated with dignity, respect and fairness, where we are not a second-class citizen in the playground for the elite. Allow me to say a poem in Malay before I close my speech. Pergi ke desa mencari ketenangan, membawa beg isinya ringan. Ini adalah pantun perjuangan agar berhasil meraih kemenangan. Warriors of Yishun, are you ready?
Yes.
Vote for RDU.
Yes.
first-class citizens, and fairer Singapore. Majulah Singapura. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Osman. A very strong ending for your making a pantun in Malay. As we were talking about, regardless of race, language, or religion, how do you take every voice seriously? And because of that, let me welcome again Miss Kala Manikam, and she will address our Indian community in Yishun.
வணக்கம் என் சிங்கப்பூர் மக்களே, எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா? இது நமது சிங்கப்பூர். ஒவ்வொரு குரலும் முக்கியம். என் சகா சிங்கப்பூரர்களே, நான் கலா மாணிக்கம், ஒரு பெருமைமிக்க சிங்கப்பூர் கல்வித்துறையில் முதுநிலை பட்டம் பெற்றவர். எனது வாழ்க்கை பயணம் சேவையிலே ஆரம்பித்தது. இராணுவத்தில் முன்னோடி பெண் அதிகாரியாக, பிறகு தனியார் நிலையில் மருத்துவத்திலும் கல்வியிலும் பலருக்கு முன்னேற வழி கொடுத்திருக்கிறேன். ஆனால் இத்தனை ஆண்டுகளாக ஒரு வழி என்னை தொடர்ந்து வருகிறது. நாம் பொருளாதாரம் முன்னேற்றத்துக்கு முக்கியத்துவம் கொடுத்திருக்கிறோம். ஆனால் உணர்ச்சி நலனை பொதுமன அளவில் பராமரிக்கவில்லை என்றால் அதை நம்ம பார்த்து கொள்ளவில்லை. நம்மிடம் உலகத்தரம் கட்டடங்களும் பல்கலைக்கழகங்களும் நிறுவனங்களும் இருக்கின்றன. ஆனால் வீட்டுக்குள் மக்கள் மன அழுத்தத்துடன் தனியாக போராடுகிறார்கள். உண்மையா நடக்குதா? சிங்கப்பூர் மக்களே, நடக்குதா? எஸ், தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச். ரொம்ப நன்றி. மாணவர்கள், குடும்பங்கள், ஊழியர்கள் அனைவரும் மௌன அழுத்தத்துடன் வாழ்கிறார்கள். சிங்கப்பூரர்களே, ஒவ்வொரு சந்தர்ப்பத்திலும் நான் உணரும் சக்தி என்பது மக்கள் எழுந்து வருகிற சக்தி தான். மக்களின் மன உறுதியும் வளர்க்க வேண்டும். எங்கள் புதிய சிங்கப்பூரில் அது உங்கள் குரல் மூலம்தான் நடக்கும். இந்நாள் ஒரு முடிவு அல்ல, ஒரு தொடங்கும் உள்ள குரல். உங்கள் மனம், உங்கள் தைரியம் வேண்டும். இது நம் சிங்கப்பூர். ஒவ்வொரு குரலும் முக்கியம், ஒவ்வொரு இதயம் முக்கியம், ஒவ்வொரு எதிர்காலமும் முக்கியம். முதல் தர குடிமகன் அல்லது குடிமகள் வாழும் சிங்கப்பூராக சமநிலை சிங்கப்பூர் என்ற ஒரு அங்கீகாரத்தை நம்ம பெற வேண்டும். ஆருடிக்கு வாக்களிங்கள். மாஜுலா சிங்கப்பூரா. நன்றி, வணக்கம். தயவுசெய்து என்னை மன்னித்திடுங்கள். முடிந்த வரைக்கும் சுத்த தமிழ் பேச பார்த்தேன். கஷ்டம்தான், ஆனால் பேசினது எனக்கு சந்தோஷம். ரொம்ப நன்றி மக்களே, ரொம்ப நன்றி.
Thank you, Madam Kala. Now, resident of Yishun GRC, the time is now for you to hear the slate of candidates of Vedor United for Yishun GRC. Let us welcome the only worst among all the ton, Miss Sharon Lin.
Good evening. Good evening, residents of Yishun, my friends and neighbors. My name is Sharon Lin, and I'm honored to stand before you tonight. not as someone with a perfect answer to every question, but as someone who believes that leaders must be accountable to the people they serve. I'm not here because I've memorized every government white paper. I'm here because I know what it feels like to struggle, to stretch every dollar, to juggle work, family, and duty. And I believe politics needs more of that. Realness, responsibility, and respect for the people who put us here. Tonight, I want to talk to you about accountability and how far we have drifted from that. When Goh Han Yen was introduced as a PAP candidate for Yishun GRC, she came with impressive credentials. High-ranking roles in Smart Nation, in the Economic Development Board, and most recently at the Ministry of Digital Development and Information, MDDI. But with those high officers comes serious responsibility. So I want to ask a very simple question tonight. Was Goh Han Yen involved in the NRIC data leak incident? Yes or no? That's what we are asking. This was a major breach. NRIC numbers of Singaporeans were exposed on BizFile. The MDDI had to come up with a ministerial statement. It wasn't just a technical glitch. It was a moment of national concern. Privacy was compromised. Trust was shaken. Goh Han Yen held a senior role at MDDI at that time. And yet, not a word. Not a statement from her. Not even a basic clarification. Why? Why can't she just come out and say clearly to us, yes, I was involved, and here's what I did? Or no, I wasn't involved, but here's what I know. Her silence was deafening. And it matters, because if you want to be a member of parliament, you don't get to pick and choose which questions you answer. Accountability is not optional. It is not a PR strategy. It is the bare minimum we owe to the people we serve. Now, let's talk about Jackson Lam. He was once parachuted into Hougang as PAP branch chairman, an opposition stronghold. And now, he's here in Yishun. So I ask, is this a promotion for failing in Hougang? Is this how PAP rewards loyalty over results? If Yishun first, as the PAP slogan says, really means putting Yishun residents first, then why are they sending you a PAP reject from Hougang? Or do they think that you, the people of Yishun, are not as discerning as the people of Hougang? That you won't ask questions? No. You will just accept whoever is sent to you? No. I don't think that's fair to you. I don't think that's respectful to you. And I don't think that's what Yishun deserves. Then there's Li Hui-ying, a nice person, we are told. Actually, I've met her during our walkabout. She's a long-time volunteer, grounded, kind. But let's be honest. There are a lot of nice people around us. Just look at the people beside you. The real test is not how nice you are at a community event. The real test is how will you vote when it matters? If Parliament is asked to raise the GST again, how will Li Hui-ying vote? If Parliament wants to build a nuclear plant near residential areas, how will Li Hui-ying vote? If laws are passed that infringe on your rights, limit your speech, or squeeze your wallets, will she speak up? Or will she toe the party line? You see, being a nice person doesn't mean much if you stay silent when the system hurts the people. Let me say this clearly. Serving quietly behind the scenes is not the same as stepping forward with courage. Politics is not just about logistics and block parties. It's about representation. And representation means standing up to say the hard things when it matters. I've said before that I didn't come from elite schools or privileged networks. I came into this race because I believe in fairness, in transparency, and in walking the talk. If I were involved in something like the NRIC incident, I would tell you plainly and honestly, because that's what leadership is. It's not just showing up for ribbon cuttings, but standing up when questions get hard. So tonight, I ask Goh Han Yen, Jetson Lam, and Li Hui-ying, if you want to earn the trust of Yishun residents, don't ride on the coattails of a minister who has been here for almost 40 years. Don't hide behind Li Bihua. She is already retired. She is not standing for public office. Speak clearly and plainly to the people of Yishun. Answer the hard questions. Don't just repeat the rehearsed slogans or borrow legacies from others. Speak with honesty and conviction. If you want to serve, then start by showing us who you are, without the shadows of others propping you up. This isn't just about attacking personalities. It's about upholding principles. I step forward to contest in this general election because fairness matters, because accountability matters, because independence, transparency, and yes, happiness matters. Happiness isn't just a feeling. It isn't just about smiling in photos or clapping at events. Happiness is something that can be built through good policies, through wise choices, through fair leadership. Right now, many of our people are suffering, not because they are lazy, not because they aren't trying, but because too many policies are designed to manage the economy, not the lives of ordinary people. They are calculated to protect the people at the top, even if it means making life harder at the bottom. I have stepped forward to make this right. Because happiness is not a luxury. It is not a buzzword for speeches or slogans. It is the fundamental right of every citizen to live without fear, to be able to care for your children and your parents, to know your work give you dignity, and make sure your future holds promise. Happiness can be created not through grand speeches, but through good policies. When your bus arrives on time, when your child's tuition fees don't keep you up at night, when your parents can see a doctor without waiting for months, when you don't have to think twice before buying groceries. But today, many Singaporeans are slowly worn down by rising costs, by stagnant wages, by policies that seemed designed to squeeze every dollar out of you. Policies that makes the lives of ordinary people miserable so that the numbers look good on their spreadsheet, but bad in our pockets. I cannot stand by that. And I know many of you feel the same. Help me make it right. Which is why I am appealing to you, voters of Yishun GRC. Please vote for me, Sharon Lin, on the 3rd of May. Vote for RDU, RDU United. Send us into the parliament. Make your life easier for yourself, your family, for our future. Madras Singapore. Let me address in Chinese. 义顺的各位居民、朋友们、邻居们，大家晚上好。好，我是 Sharon Lim， 讲福建话的。大家好，我是 Sharon Lim。哦，今晚我非常荣幸能够站在大家面前。我不是那个对所有问题都有答案的人，但是我坚信，领袖必须对自己所服务的人负责任。我站在这里，不是因为我背熟了每一份政府的白皮书，我站在这里，是因为我知道挣扎的感觉，知道如何精打细算每一分钱，知道如何兼顾工作、家庭和义务责任。我相信政治需要更多这样的东西：真实、责任，以及推举我们到这里竞选的人民的尊重。今晚，我想和大家谈谈问责制，以及我们离他们有多远。当吴涵燕女士作为人民行动党候选人被介绍到义顺的时候，她带来了非凡的履历。她在 Smart Nation 经济发展局以及最近在数码发展与新闻部 MDDI 担任高级职务，但伴随这些高级职务而来的是重大的责任。所以我想问一个非常简单的问题：吴涵燕女士是否参与了国民身份证 NRIC 数据泄露事件？是还是不是？这就是我们要求的。这是一次重大的泄露事件。新加坡公民的国民身份证号码在 BizFile 网站上被暴露，数码发展与新闻局 不得不发表部长表明，这不仅仅是一个技术故障，这是一个全国关注的时刻，隐私受到侵犯，信任受到动摇。吴涵燕女士当时在数码发展与新闻部担任高级的职位，然而她现在却没有一句话，没有一个声明，甚至连一个简单的澄清都没有。为什么？为什么她不能站出来讲清楚呢？说是的，我参与了，我做了一些什么事情，或者跟我们说不，他没有参与那件事件，但是这是我知道的一些事情，跟我们坦白。但是他的沉默却显而易见，这点很重要，因为如果你想成为国会议员，你不能挑选问题回答，问责制是不可以选择的，它不是一个公关策略，它是我们对服务的人民应尽的基本责任。现在我们来谈谈 Jackson Lam， 他曾被空降到后港，一个反对党坚固堡垒，担任人民行动党支部主席。现在他来到了义顺，所以我问，这是他在后港失败后的升职吗？人民行动党是这样奖励忠实、忠诚，而非成果吗？如果正如人民行动党的口号所说，义顺优先，那么为什么他们要派一个在后港被人民行动党淘汰的人来给你呢？还是他们认为你们义顺的居民不像后港人民那样有辨识力，你们不会提问吗？你们会接受任何被派到义顺的人吗？我不认为这对你们公平，我不认为这是对大家的尊重，我也不认为这是义顺应该得到的。然后是李慧莹，我们被告知她是个好人，她是一个长远志愿者，脚踏实地，善良。但老实说，我们身边也有很多好人，看看你身边的人就知道了。但是真正的考验不是你在社区活动有多好，真正的考验是当事关重要时，他会如何在国会投票。如果国会再次要求提高消费税，李慧莹会在国会如何投票？如果国会想在住宅区附近建造核电厂，李慧莹会在国会如何投票？如果通过法律侵犯你的权利，限制你的言论自由，或者挤压你的钱包，它会发生吗？还是它会遵循党的路线呢？你看，如果你在制度伤害人民的时候保持沉默，那么做个好人也没有多大的意义。我要清楚地说，在幕后默默服务与勇敢站出来是不同的。政治不仅仅是后勤和社区派对，它是关于代表权，而代表权意味着在关键时刻挺身而出，说出艰难的话。我之前说过，我并非出身特权阶级或者是名校，我参与这场竞选是因为我相信公平、透明和言行一致。如果我涉及像国民身份证事件那样的事情，我会来告诉你们，清楚的 明白的、诚实的告诉你们，因为这是领导力。领导不只是出现在剪彩仪式上，而是在问题变得困难的时候挺身而出。所以今晚我问吴涵燕女士、Jackson Lam 和李慧莹，如果你们想赢得义顺居民的信任，不要依赖一个在这里近40年的部长，不要躲在李美花身后，她已经退休了，她不再竞选公职，请清楚的、明白的对义顺人民说话，回答那些难题，不要用预设好的口号，用真诚和信念。如果你们想服务义顺的居民，那么就先向我们展示你们真实的面目，不要依靠别人的影子。这不是个人攻击，这是维护责任。我挺身而出参加这次大选，是因为公平很重要，因为问责制很重要，因为独立、透明，甚至幸福很重要。幸福，它不仅仅是一种感觉，它不是在照片或者活动中鼓掌。幸福是通过好的政策、明智的选择、公平的领导而建立的。现在有许多新加坡人民在受苦，不是因为他们懒惰，不是因为他们不努力，而是因为太多的政策是设计来管理经济，而不是来应付他们的生活。我挺身而出，就是为了纠正这一点。幸福不是奢侈品，它是每个公民的基本权利。生活没有恐惧，能够照顾你们的父母和孩子，知道你的工作给你尊严，你感觉对未来充满希望。幸福是可以创造的，不是通过宏伟的演讲，而是通过好的政策。当你的巴士准时到达时，当你不会为孩子的学费而烦恼时，当你不用为父母看医生等几个月而担心时，当你能够购买杂货时而不用三思而后行。但今天许多新加坡人慢慢的被折腾，不断上涨的生活成本，停滞不前的工资，以及那些似乎从你身上榨出每一分钱的政策，这些政策让普通人的生活痛苦不堪。这样他们的电子表格上的数字看起来很好，但是我们的口袋却很糟糕。我不能袖手旁观，我知道你们很多人也有这样的感觉，请帮助我纠正这一切。这就是为什么我要呼吁义顺的选民在5月3日，请投票给我Sharon Lim，请你们投票给红点同心党，送我们进入国会，让我们每个人的生活变得更好，为你们自己，为你们的家人，为我们的未来前进吧，新加坡 Majulah Singapura。
Thank you, Sharon Lim. And now let's introduce Dr. Syed Alwi.
Good evening, friends, neighbors, and voters of Yishun, GRC. My name is Dr. Syed Alwi Ahmad. I'm a physicist by training, a teacher by profession, and a Singaporean by heart. I've spent much of my life studying black holes, quantum fields, but the most urgent questions I face today aren't cosmic. They're deeply human. They're about fairness, dignity, and whether this country we all love still sees every citizen as first class. I've chosen to step forward and contest in Yishun GRC because I believe we're at a critical turning point, not just politically, but morally. We must ask, what kind of leadership do we want for Singapore? What values are we rewarding? Some of you may know that a fellow Malay Muslim Said Harun al-Habshi was recently a nominated Member of Parliament, NMP. That role is meant to be non-partisan, a space where voices from civil society, from education, the arts, and the community can speak freely without political alignment. But just months after stepping down, he joined the People's Action Party and is now standing as their candidate here in Yishun. Let me be clear, there's nothing illegal about that. But I believe Singaporeans have a right to ask, is it right? Is it principled? When someone moves that quickly from a neutral platform to the ruling party, we must question whether the independence of that voice was ever real to begin with. At the same time, another NMP also stepped down. But that individual said, no, I need time. I won't jump straight into partisan politics. I salute that choice. That is what values look like. That is integrity. But under the PAP today, more and more we see principles replaced with maneuvers. Power maintained not by renewal, but by calculative moves. And too often, it's ordinary Singaporeans who pay the price. That's why I've come to Yishun. Not because it is easy, but because I believe you deserve leaders who stay true, even when the journey is hard. Ask my students. Yeah, ask my students. Just yesterday, one of them reached out to me. He said, "Sir, when I started A levels, I was failing physics. You turned my F into a B. If I had concentrated more, maybe I would have gotten an A." That's what I bring to the table. Not empty words, not performance, but commitment. I don't give up on people and I won't give up on you. Let me now explain through something from physics why I think Singapore needs change. There's a concept called symmetry breaking. Imagine you place an egg perfectly at the top of a smooth hill. It can roll in any direction. That's balance. That's fairness. But give it one small push and it rolls. And it keeps rolling in that direction. That's what has happened to Singapore. Once we had balance. If you worked hard, you could move up. There was dignity. There was trust. But over time, the system tilted because we gave the PAP more power than it needs. And unless we correct course, unless we send some of us from Red Dot United into Parliament to speak up for you, it will tilt even more in their favor and to our detriment. We now stand at the edge of a precipice, not one of chaos, but one of quiet erosion, of a country that still works, yeah, but only for the big companies, the billionaires, and the well-connected. Not for the hawker, not for the retiree, not for the young couple trying to buy their first home, not for the single parent holding down 2 jobs, not for the ones who keep the country running quietly and yet are so often left behind. That's why Red Dot United wants to restore balance, not just in policy, but in the spirit of how we care for one another as Singaporeans. Some of our proposals may appear to be for the Malay Muslim community, But if you look deeper, they are for all of Singapore. Take, for example, our Supporting EduFund Tuition Scheme, or SETS. It is race blind. Let me say that again. It is race blind. Instead, it is needs-based. And it is focused on helping children who are falling behind, not because they lack talent, but because they lack opportunity. SETS is not a handout, it is a lift up. It is how we ensure no child is left out just because their family cannot afford $80 an hour tuition. This is how we create a society that is fair, smart, and compassionate. Not for one group, but for all. We've also proposed that we commemorate Lieutenant Adnan, a Malay officer who gave his life defending Singapore during the Japanese invasion. He stood firm, even when he knew he might die. That kind of bravery deserves national remembrance. We don't honor him because he was Malay. We honor him because he died for Singaporeans. By recognizing him, we strengthen our shared story. We remind our children that heroes come in every shade of skin and that courage is part of all our DNA. We also propose a non-examinable Malay language module open to all Singaporeans, not to burden students, but to give them a chance to connect. Language is not just a tool, it is a bridge. Imagine schoolmates laughing together in basic Malay. That's how empathy grows, not through speeches, but through shared experiences. And yes, we speak up for Palestine, not because we're Muslims, but because we are Singaporeans, a small nation who knows what it means to want peace, sovereignty, and justice. If we can stand up with Ukraine, we must find also the moral courage to stand up for Gaza. This is not about religion, it is about humanity. Each of these policies sets Lieutenant Adnan Day, Malay language, Palestine. They are not about lifting one group. They are about lifting all of us together. The other day, Mr. Shanmugam spoke about Asian values. Yeah, Asian values. About what he called Singapore values. But let me tell you, the voters of Yishun GRC, there is no value more important for Singaporeans than the value of fairness. Fairness is not a Malay value. It is not a Chinese value. It is not an Indian value, nor Eurasian, or even Asian. It is a Singaporean value. And right now, that fairness is fraying. When the rules seem to favor the powerful, when the policies seem to tilt towards the privileged, when trust in the system starts to wear thin, that's not a Singapore that's living its values. That's a Singapore drifting from them. We want to build a Singapore where no community feels forgotten, where success is not hoarded and opportunity is not inherited, where what you get is not based on who you know, but who you are and how hard you try. Because that is what our national pledge asks of us. One unified people, regardless of race, language, and religion. Those are not just words that we recite. They are values we must live by. That is the Singapore I still believe in. That is the Singapore Red Dot United is fighting for. And that is the Singapore we can build together. Vote for Red Dot United. Vote for first-class citizens. A fairer Singapore. Majulah Singapura.
Thank you, Dr. Syed Alwi and Majulah Singapura. Next, let us welcome Mr. Pang Heng Chuan.
Hello, good evening, my fellow Singaporeans, residents of Yishun. I am Pang Heng Chuan. I'm 56 years old, a company director, and your Red Dot candidate for Yishun GRC. I come from the corporate world. For over 2 decades, I worked with companies to cut wastage, plug leaks, and deliver value to shareholders. And now, I want to bring that same discipline to public service because, in my view, the true shareholders of Singapore are you, the citizens. Okay. Let me be blunt. If a company ran like how some of our estates are managed, it would have folded long time ago. We see the problems every day, right? Rats running around bin centers, crows nesting, attacking children near food courts, leaves that break down and stay broken, HDB ceilings that leak and continue leaking for years. And when residents raise concerns, they are told, we'll look into it. 3 months pass, sometimes nothing changes. If this were the private sector, heads would have rolled. You don't take 2 years to fix a leak. You don't let pests multiply until it becomes a health hazard. You act, you get it done. So the real question is, why are taxpayers treated like they don't matter? So I joined Red Dot United because it stands for what I've always believed in: efficiency, accountability, and value for money. Our philosophy is simple: cut the fluff, fix what's broken, and give people what they paid for. Okay, we propose a full audit of municipal services in Yishun. If money is being spent, show the results. No more vague answers. We need a zero wastage approach to town council management. Stop spending on ornamental upgrades when basic maintenance is failing. Prompt response timelines for maintenance issue. So, if a lift malfunctions or the ceiling leaks, it is addressed within weeks, not years. And we also need residents first budgeting. Put the money where it helps people, or not where it looks good in photos. Okay, you wouldn't let a company ignore its shareholders. So why would we let elected officials ignore their residents? This is not about fancy words. It's about getting the basics right. Yishun deserves to be clean, safe, and functional. That's not a very high bar. It's just a bare minimum, right? Yes. So Singaporeans are reasonable people. We don't expect luxury. We just expect what was promised: working lives, clean estate, decent service, and respect. Yes. Yes. I may be from the corporate world, but I've knocked on enough doors to know this. This isn't about spreadsheet. It is about people. And I met a single mother in Yishun who said her corridor has flickering lights for over 6 months. She was worried about her daughter walking home late. It is a small fix, but no one followed up. That's not right. We can do better. I know how to get things moving, and I know how to keep people accountable. So, on the 3rd of May, vote for a manager who treats your neighborhood like it matters. Vote for someone who knows the value of a dollar and wants that dollar to go to you and not to the waste. So, vote Red Dot United, let's fix the system and serve the people. Majulah Singapura, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pang. And next on the lineup, we have Dr. David Fu, who is also a chairman for Red Dot United.
Good evening, my friends, my fellow Singaporeans, my fellow residents of Yishun. My name is Dr. David Fu. I'm a chemist by training. But tonight, I stand before you not to talk about molecules, but to talk about movements. Not reactions in a laboratory, but the reactions we need to have as a people together. You see, in chemistry, small things make a big difference. A drop of the wrong substance changes everything. A single atom added or removed, the whole formula transforms. Politics is no different. Sometimes it takes a handful of voices, a few brave choices, one new direction to change the course of a country. And tonight, I'm here to tell you that that moment is now. Singapore is changing, whether we are ready for it or not. Our economy is changing. Our families are changing. The world around us is changing. And the question for us in Yishun is simple. Will we be part of that change, or will we be left behind by it? Barack Obama once said, change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. And Xi Jinping said, to respond to the people's desire for a better life, we must have the courage to reform and innovate. These two men come from different worlds, but they understood one thing the same way, that the fear of change is a luxury we cannot afford. My friends, here in Singapore, we are told that only one party knows how to govern. That if you vote for the opposition, chaos will ensue. That it is better not to rock the boat. But let me tell you this, if the boat is leaking, rocking might be the only way to keep it from sinking. Red Dot United is not here to oppose for the sake of opposing. We are here because we believe in Singapore. We are here because we believe Singapore can be fairer, kinder, and better. We believe in a Singapore where our seniors don't have to work until they collapse. Where our young don't have to fear that they'll never own a home. Where a parent doesn't feel like, where the parent feel that having children is a financial punishment. We believe in policies that lift the people up, not weigh them down. We believe that economic planning should serve the people, not the other way around. Yes, we believe in chemistry. Wonderful. But we also believe in courage. Courage to say, maybe it's time we tried something different. Courage to ask, why can't we have more accountability in Parliament? Courage to vote not out of fear, but out of hope. I know many of you are afraid. You worry what will happen to you if you vote differently. You worry that something might go wrong. But I say to you, what if it goes right? What if your vote sends a message that Singaporeans are ready to be heard, not just managed? What if your courage gives rise to new ideas, new energy, and a new hope? Change is not chaos. Change is not danger. Change is how we survive. The PAP has governed for 60 years, but no system is perfect forever. Even the strongest materials decay over time. In chemistry, we call it entropy. In society, we call it stagnation. To fix it, we need renewal. We need fresh inputs. We need a diversity in voices, in ideas, in leadership. That is what Red Dot United brings. We bring discipline without dogma. We bring compassion without complacency. We bring accountability without arrogance. We are not here to burn anything down. We are here to build with you, for you, and beside you. Let me be very, very, very clear. Red Dot United is not a recalcitrant or rogue party. In the past 5 years, we have proven ourselves to be responsible, steady, committed to the democratic process. We don't shout for attention. We show up, we do the work, we listen, and we act. Among the opposition, we are fielding the second largest team in this general election, only behind the Workers' Party. That is not by accident. That is because we have earned the trust of good people who want to serve.
Yes.
Look at our candidates. I have a PhD in chemistry. Dr. Said Alwi Ahmad has a PhD in physics. We have MBA holders, senior civil engineers, CEOs, operation managers, social workers, communication experts, people who have spent their lives building, solving, leading, and caring. These are through and through professionals, men and women of integrity, people with heart and spine. We are not here to tear the system down. We are here to make it better for Singaporeans. We believe in a system that improves when it is challenged with respect, when it is questioned with courage, when it is refined in truth. And I, David Fu, did not enter politics because I needed a title or I wanted one. I entered politics because I have children. I want them to grow up in a country where they are more than economic digits, where dignity is not reserved for those who have it or who are in the rich class, where every Singaporean is treated like a first-class citizen in their own country, in their own land. So I ask you, Nisun, what kind of Singapore do you want? Do you want a country that only listens to itself? Or a country that listens to you? Do you want a government that manages problems? Or do you want a government that solves them with you, with your help? Do you want to wait another 5 years? Or do you want to start something tonight together? As chairman of RDU, as your fellow citizen, I ask you, be the drop that changes the solution. Be the vote that changes the future. Vote for Red Dot United. Vote for first-class citizens. Vote for a fairer Singapore. Majulah Singapura. Let me close with this. History is not written by those who wait. It is written by those who step forward, even when the odds seem high, even the winds are against them. Nelson Mandela once said, "It is always impossible until it's done." And dreams require action. Planning requires courage. And real building, requires all of us. The politics of fear will tell you to settle. The politics of hope asks that you arise. I believe that Yishun is ready to rise. I believe that Singapore is ready for renewal. So don't let anyone tell you your vote doesn't matter. It does. Don't let anyone tell you that change is dangerous. Stagnation is even more dangerous. Yes. Don't let anyone tell you to be afraid. Tell them you are ready. On May 3rd, cast the vote not just for a party, but for a future that you can believe in. Vote Red Dot United. Vote for the leadership with heart and mind and with moral courage. Let us not imagine a Singapore together. Let us build it. Let us build a better Singapore together. Here in Yishun, we have a simple but powerful creed. We are listening, we are lifting, we are leading. We are here to listen, to truly hear your concerns, not just during elections, but always. We are here to lift you up, to walk in your shoes, and to stand with you in your struggles, and to ensure that no one is left behind. We are here to lead, not to be masters, but as friends, with humility, with courage, and with heart. We listen to understand, and not just to reply. We lift those who have been left behind, families that are burdened by the cost of living, seniors who are struggling with dignity, youth wondering if they can ever afford a home in Singapore. And we lead not without fear, but with vision, not with slogans, but with service. This is what Red Dot United stands for. This is what I stand for. And this is what this election is all about. So on May 3rd, listen to your heart. Lift your hopes. And lead Singapore forward with your vote. Let me, David Fu, be that voice. Be your voice. Vote for me. Vote for Red Dot United. Send us to Parliament. Together, let's create a country where Singaporeans are once again first-class citizens. A country that is fairer to those who call this place our home, where our children can dream again. Semoga bahagia. May your dreams come true. Majulah Singapura.
Thank you, Dr. Devi Fu. Ladies and gentlemen, residents of Yishun GRC, the time is now. Let us welcome Secretary General of Red Dot United, Mr. Ravi Philaman.
Dear voters of Yishun GRC, I usually don't speak from a script. I prefer to speak directly and from the heart. But tonight, I've chosen to use a prepared text because what I want to say is important. And I don't want to leave anything out. This is the last night I'm allowed to speak to you before cooling off day. After tonight, I'll have to stay silent for one whole day. And by the time I can speak again, it will be too late. Too late, because you'll already be on your way to the polling booth on 3rd May. So please, I ask for your ears. Listen to me carefully. I am no stranger to Yishun GRC. Even Mr. Shanmugam acknowledges that I know Yishun GRC. I did not parachute myself here. I know the people here. I know your hopes, your joys, your aspirations, and your struggles. In the past 2 weeks, I have spoken to you in songs, even Hokkien songs. I've also spoken to you in Tamil, and to yet others in my private conversations, in my walkabouts, in Malay. I have even sung a Hokkien song for you. But today, I want to speak to you plainly and clearly. As the Secretary General of Red Dot United, I have given you good candidates. Look at the slate of our candidates. PhD holders, MBA graduates, senior engineers, CEOs, captains of industries, and senior professionals. People who have fought against the battles of life. People not seated on ivory towers, but people who know the struggles of ordinary Singaporeans. We are not a bunch of mercenaries, a ragtag team. We are one well-oiled, mean fighting machine. It is clear for anyone, even our political opponent, to see that we are one mean, well-oiled fighting machine. Which is why even our Prime Minister, Lawrence Wong, acknowledged in one of his rallies that we have fielded the second largest opposition team, second only to the Workers' Party in this general election. I want to tell you something. This did not happen by chance. How can something like this happen without manpower? How can this happen without money? How can this happen without us properly mobilizing our people to fight in this campaign? It should be clear to you that we are a party who believes in punching above our weights. Is it tiring? You bet it is. Is it exhausting? Of course it is. In the past 2 days, I have barely slept for 3 to 4 hours every day. Despite the toll it is taking on my body and my fellow candidates, we soldier on. Why? Because the lives of Singaporeans matter. We have to do more. Draw on strength. Strength that we don't have. Sometimes it feels like we are drawing on supernatural strength to do what needs to be done. And what needs to be done is Herculean. Listening to every voice, lifting up people, and leading them from the front, guiding them from the middle, and protecting them from the back. I believe in protecting the people from the wolves and from the lions. Because these are my people. Our people are important. My dedication, uplifting the lives of people, can be seen right here on this stage. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Look at Madam Liana Damira. She now manages a not-for-profit organization. She's an entrepreneur, a best-selling author, a TEDx speaker. But it was not always like this for her. When I first saw her on 31st December 2009, I hope I got that date right. She was broken, homeless, heavily pregnant, and was living in Sembawang Beach. Look where she is now. Liana. She is a remarkable woman. A remarkable woman. Let me say that again. She was sinking. I threw her a plank. She grabbed hold of it and not only swam to shore, but also started building a shelter there for many, many like her. Today, she is my fellow candidate in GE 2025. I'm so proud of her. If you talk to my candidate Nizar, he will tell you that when he lost everything, this was long before there was RDU. I was there for him. I helped him search for jobs, brought him for interviews, stood with him in his financial struggles when he lost his high-paying job, and see where he is now. He is now in the same industry, in a respected position, earning almost as much as he was previously earning. Sometimes, actually many times, people don't need handouts. They don't need trolley bags, ice creams, fishers, or toothbrushes. You know what I'm talking about.
Rubbish.
And I have done this not only for people like Liana and Nizar. Talk to the many people RDU has lifted up in the past 5 years. Through our refurbished laptops program, through our rice, oil, sugar, and other essentials, or what we call our ROSE program, through our job placement programs, and many more programs, we have helped many, many Singaporeans in the past 5 years. If we can do all these without a mandate, without being elected to parliament, imagine what we can and what we will do for our people to uplift their lives if we are elected. For RDU, it is always about the people, behind the politics, behind the policies. There is one thing which anchors us. It is our people. Yes, our people. Which is why we got very worried when our ex-Prime Minister kept it from us. The people, that is Speaker of Parliament, was having an inappropriate relationship with one of his party members, a fellow MP. We are not concerned about what people choose to do behind closed doors. They are both adults. We should not judge them for the decisions of their personal lives. But keeping such an important matter from the people, to let him speak from the speaker's chair as a neutral party, is an unprincipled thing to do. Letting an NMP who has resigned mere months before the GE is called is an unprincipled thing to do. He is now contesting in party colors as a PAP candidate in Yishun GRC, and that is an unprincipled, unethical thing to do. A ruling party that is unprincipled is a danger to the people. They may do what they want to do just to stay in power. They may go rogue. Laws like POFMA and FICA and POHA are stacked up to give them the power to go rogue. Let me tell you, my people, that is a very, very scary thought. It is scary because the people, our people, my people, will suffer. So that is the issue. Earlier today, in my walkabouts, a voter from Yishun GRC asked me if I would buy him and his friends who were seated at the table some food. Not because they could not afford it, but because, in his words, never blanja, how to vote, he asked me. I told him, sir, we cannot buy vote. He said, just one only ma, one meal only ma. I told him, please don't think of the one meal someone can buy for you today. Think about the many meals you need to have. If you vote for Red Dot United, you will have many happy meals to eat. So that is why we are asking for your votes. I know that my people are not eating well. Many of them. We want to make sure that your stomachs are full and that you don't empty your pockets to make your stomach full. So that is the issue. Do people who earn $1 million salaries, do people who eat in hawker centers and kopitiams only during GE, do people who ask you to pay more for wonton mee, do they really know what you are going through? No. Do you trust them? No. Trust them to act in your best interest? No. Or in their best interest? Yes. Which is why for RDU, we will always tell you as it is. We will be honest with you. For us, power is not more important than the people. That was why we gave Jalan Kayu to the Workers' Party. Some people told us that we should not have done that. We had a good chance of being elected from Jalan Kayu. But is going for a three-corner fight in GE 2025 in the best interest of the people? No. At RDU, we believe that the people must be more important than going for easy wins for the party. Which is why we are contesting in all the constituencies where we have put our candidates in. Jurong Central SMC, Jurong East Bukit Batok GRC. Holland Bukit Timah GRC. And Yishun GRC. Jurong Central and Jurong East Bukit Batok GRCs are constituencies we have put boots in week after week for the past 5 years. Holland Bukit Timah for the many issues that the PAP candidates have to answer for, like liking the Calvin Cheng post, a post which riled up an entire community. The hot mic incident where you asked if a fellow MP is from Raffles Institution. Moving into a black and white bungalow just so that you can have your entire and extended family live together. And Yishun, why is it that you get to live in a state-owned bungalow the size of 3-4 football fields, while we have to put up with very shrinking HDB flats, prices going up, and the value comes down to $0 at the end of 99 years? And let's not forget the Meet the People session, which is supposed to be very confidential. People come to meet you regarding many different personal problems. They trust that the MP will guard their identity, protect them, keep whatever they share highly confidential. That trust was betrayed. We never condone what the activists have done. They should not have disrupted the MPS. There are no questions about that. But could the minister have spoken about that unreasonable behavior without revealing their identity? I think he could have. I think he should have. And more importantly, why is he letting an NMP who has not properly accounted for why he is standing under the PAP ticket so soon after stepping down as an NMP to ride on his coattails into Parliament? So for the PAP, everything is legal, everything is constitutional, but is everything principled? We have to be very, very worried about unprincipled political parties. I am worried that the PAP is charting into these waters. You should be worried with me. They seem to be acting in the best interest of big companies and the billionaire class. It is easy for billionaires to set up home offices here. They set up offices here because the taxes here are so low. They pay the taxes for the loose change from the loose change that they have. Whereas for us, the people, we pay and pay from what we barely have or don't have. I understand the tough decisions you have to make on 3rd May. Change is never easy. Today is Labor Day. The 5-day week, 44 hours of work, annual leaves, sick leaves, and everything else, the rights of workers that we have today, it was not easily won. It happened because the people, our people, pushed for change. And to the workers who fight for their rights, day in, day out, I say thank you. Once upon a time, women could not vote. Slavery was legal. But things don't come because they are legal. Because they are constitutional. Am I right? Yes. But still, change is never, never easy. I can understand that. We have had the same party for 60 years. Let me say that again, 60 years. You may be worried that you will get an irresponsible opposition to squander everything away. You may want the ruling party to be the government, but you also want a responsible opposition party to check on the excesses of the PAP. Mayor's salary? What does the mayor even do? 400,000 to rename Marina Bay as Marina Bay? 330 million for the Founders Memorial? These are the excesses, or some of the excesses of the PAP. At the same time, I can understand you don't want Parliament to turn into a circus. That is why today I tell you, you must elect RDU into Parliament. Elect me into Parliament. Elect my candidates into Parliament. Because we are a party which believes in working across party lines. You have heard the compliments the ministers have given about me. They have said, he's a gentleman. He is reasonable. This is what we will bring to Parliament. You saw us working across party lines to secure Yishun GRC, to secure Holland Bukit Timah GRC from other opposition parties. That is what we bring to the table. In the past 5 years, Parliament looked like a gladiator's ring to some. The PAP must take the lion's share of the blame for this. This is where RDU is different. Different from the PAP, different from the other opposition parties in Parliament. We do not believe in adversarial politics. Again, I remind you of what we did in Jalan Kayu. We gave up an easy win. An easy win. Because it is in the best interest of the people. For us, it is always about the people. Never what's in personal interest, never what's good for the party, always what's best for the people. We are at a crossroads. Whatever is your race, whatever is the language you speak, whatever is the religion you practice or don't practice, whether you're rich or poor or just middle income, we must be united. This is why I worry. I worry. I don't like the direction politics is taking in this country. It's so divisive. It is so us versus them. The either with us or against us politics that the PAP practices does not augur well for Singaporeans. We must hear every voice, even the smallest voices. We must include this small voice in our policies as much as we can. We have to right align our policies so that our people, our planet, they are prioritized along with the GDP. So on 3rd May, when you go to the polling booths, vote for yourself. When you vote for RDU, you are voting for yourself. You vote for Singapore where every Singaporean feels like first-class citizen in his own country, the only home we have. Where Singapore is fairer for all who live here and for all who call Singapore their home.
Yes.
My friends, my fellow voters, this is a new Merdeka moment. Let me say that again. This is a new Merdeka moment. Where we dare to free ourselves, where we dare to send a newish party, Red Dot United, into Parliament. To speak up for you, where we can dream of a new Singapore. So I call you today, let's dream together of a new Merdeka. Merdeka! 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 Majulah Singapura! Thank you, Singapore! Wait. Let's end this night by us all taking the pledge together. After me, please. We, the citizens of Singapore, pledge ourselves as one united people, regardless of race, language, or religion, to build a democratic society based on justice and equality, so as to achieve happiness, prosperity, and progress for our nation. Thank you, Singapore. Take a bow.
Thank you kawan-kawan.
Thanks for being our boy. Thank you. RDU.
Now it is in your hands. So make sure your vote counts. Yeah? We want all the work ready and please. One takeaway from tonight. Tomorrow reflect on it and make your vote count.
Tell a friend.
Yeah, tell a friend.